Hi there and welcome to Hyundai Power Products. My name is Adrian and today we're going to be looking at this HYM530SPE lawnmower, and in particular we're going to be changing the rear axle. So I've done two videos on a similar subject before on this exact mower, one of which shows me removing the blade, the belt cover, the belt from the underside of the mower. So that takes us up to a certain point where we left off. So I do recommend that you watch that video first, and I'll put a link in the description below. And then there is a second video which shows how to remove the clutch or drive cable from the gearbox. So I shall put a link to that one as well. And what we'll do, we'll come to a point, I'm going to strip this down now to a point where we left off after those two videos. So yeah, I'm at the point where we left off at the end of the last two videos. The drive cable is disconnected, the belt cover and the blade is removed. So we're going to put it back on its wheels now and remove the two back wheels. So I find the simplest thing to do is to lift the rear of the mower up and put it onto a block of wood. So I'll just lift the rear of the mower and sit it on a block of wood, and that lets the wheels come up off the ground. And the next thing, just pop the wheel trims off. So I'll do that for both sides. Okay, so that's the two wheel trims removed, and next we're going to undo the wheel nuts. So you can use a 15mm socket or a 15mm spanner and undo in the conventional manner, anti-clockwise, the two wheel nuts. That's one undone. I'll do the one on the other side while I'm at it. Okay, that's the wheel nuts removed, and now the wheel itself will just pull away off the axle. Now, let me just pick it back up. There's a washer which goes behind the wheel on the axle here. As you saw then, the washer came off with the wheel, so take care not to lose this washer. Now, the wheels, or the gears I should say, are handed on this mower, so this gear has to go back on this side and the other gear has to go back on the other side. So the next thing is to remove this drive gear. So I'm going to use the little circlip pliers and just simply remove the little circlip from the end of the gear. The gear will pull off and you'll see a little dowel here, a little drive dowel, and I'll remove the drive dowel as well. So what I'm going to do is put everything that comes off this side inside this wheel temporarily to keep everything safe. And now that rear plastic cover can come off, I'll pop it back on top of the wheel, and I'm going to keep this as the left hand side. From the operator position I know this is the left wheel. So I'll keep this on the left, and I'm going to move to the other side and do exactly the same with the other side. So the next step in the procedure is to remove the link bar for the height adjuster that links the front and rear axles. So there's a nut on the back that takes a 10mm spanner, a 13mm socket on here. I'll just remove the nut off the back. Now it might pop out this, and be careful because there's a washer in the centre. So we've got, let me just pull it apart. We've got the little shouldered bolt which goes through the bar, then the washer goes on the back, and then the nut goes on the other side of the axle bar. So I'll just put those three back together for safekeeping, and that's the link bar removed. So I'm just going to remove the adjuster handle. Now it's not strictly necessary, but it will make life a lot easier when you're coming to put the axle back in. Okay. Just loosen these two bolts off. So you've got to remember that the handle goes on the inside of this plate. There's a nut on the inside. I'll just put those back together. Get the second one. So you've got the bolt through the plate, through the handle, and the nut on the back. There is a bit of loading on this at present. Let me just... Okay. Right, so again, I'll put those nuts and bolts safe with the handle. So that's the handle removed. Now we're going to tip the mower back up onto its side again. So we're very nearly there. 4 screws now to remove these 2 braces, top and bottom. We'll just do that. Crosshead screwdriver. I don't suppose I could leave that fastened on the one side, but we'll remove them anyway. We're at the point where the axle and the axle carrier will come out as one. Okay, put those to one side. Okay, so with the 2 keep plates removed, I can pull the axle as a complete unit out from the mower. We need to remove the gearbox and axle out from the carrier now. So again, there's 2 circlips, oops, one either side, one this side. I'll just spin it around, one on the other side. There we are, that's the 2 circlips removed. You'll see there's 2 bearings, one this side, which I've removed. Just spin it round, take the bearing off the other side, and now the axle will just slide down and out, leaving the carrier, and there we are, that's the axle removed. So we're at the point now where we would be fitting a new axle. This axle is working perfectly well, the axle, gearbox and clutch unit. So bear in mind that the gearbox end, the long end of the shaft, faces this bracket that's for the handle adjuster. Okay, so we can place that end in through there and that end in through there. Back on with 1 bearing, back on with 1 circlip, into the far groove behind the hole. Just make sure that the circlip's in the groove. There we are, that's that one in. Turn it round the other way, back in with the bearing, and back on with the circlip. Oh. Let me just pop that back in a second. There we go. Just make sure the circlip's in the groove, which it is. So that's the sub-assembly back together. Let's put the carriage back in now. Let's get it a good way around. So we go this way, back in with the top first. Just push them into position. There we go. And back on with our 2 clamps. Just be careful when threading these in not to cross thread them to the original threads. That's the 2 screws. So they should just start gently. There we go. That's that one. And that one. Back on with the top one. Oops. So that one started. Okay, so now we can go back down onto the ground. While I've got it this way round, I'll just put this link bar back in. So you've got 3 holes here. It's the lowest hole of the 3. So the bolt through the hole first, then the washer. Oop, wrong hole. Then the end of the thread. You may have to rotate the axle slightly to get it to line up. There we go. Back on with the nut on the back. There we go, we've got it started, and I can tighten that bolt back up again. So with the bolt started, exactly the reverse procedure. And do that bolt out firmly. So that's the link bar back on. So we'll spin round the other way again now and put the handle back on. So remembering that this handle goes behind the bracket, a bolt through the handle. The deck will have dropped to its lowest position now, so you can see the handle's in position 1. Because I haven't got it resting on a piece of wood. Just pull that out a touch. I'll get that first bolt, nut and bolt started. Okay, that's that one started. Put the other bolt through, do the same with that one. Bit fiddly to get my fingers in behind here. Okay, so they both started. Again, 10mm spanner again, in from behind. And I can do up the 2 bolts. Oops. Let's tighten them down firmly. Okay, so that's the handle back on. So I spun the mower around now and it's back on a piece of wood. So taking the left wheel, the one I took off the left side, back on with the plastic cover. That's the first thing. Back in with a little dry pin. There we are, that's the pin in place. Back on with the gear. You'll find it'll locate. There we are, on the dry pin. And then again, using the circlip pliers, back on with a little circlip. Making sure that it's in the groove. Back on with the washer that I dropped earlier on, so that can go back on. And then finally, there we go, back on with the wheel, and I'll do up the wheel nut. Just tighten that wheel nut up. Okay, and back on with the wheel trim. So I'll repeat the operation for the other side now. Well, there we are, that's both wheels back on, and we're at the point where we started disassembly in this video. Of course, I've got to reconnect the drive cable now, but if you go to the video that I mentioned earlier in the link below about drive cables or changing the control cables, it shows how to refasten this. And again, once I've done that, I'm going to have to refit the belt, the blade and the belt cover. But again, in the video entitled Drive System Diagnostics, in the link below, it explains all that system as well. Well, I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, visit www.hyundaipowerproducts.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and thank you for watching.